Take a look at Israel. When you look at it from afar, what you're going to see is a strong economy that has had very, very high growth, an economy with a very low level of unemployment. But when you zoom in a little bit closer, you start seeing some of the chinks in the armor. There are chinks in the armor in the health system, in the education system, in inequality. You do see problems that exist, and you need to be able to address them. The Taub Center was formed 40 years ago. The mission was to research socioeconomic situation inside of Israel in order to help all Israelis. 40 years later, we are still on the same mission. We've increased our scope, we have more researchers, we research more issues, and the impact we have is far greater than it ever was.
Israel is a very dynamic country, a lot of diversity, cultural, religious, and so social and economic matters like health and education and welfare cut across those segments of society in different ways. So it's important to study the impacts of policy on different groups of society and try to improve them in the future.
The Taub Center was formed in 1982. The original idea was of Menachem Begin.
My uncle, Herbert Singer, along with 3 or 4 other people who were very much committed to Israel, saw that there was a need for doing independent social research, which the government could rely upon.
The mission of the center has stayed the same since its founding, to conduct high-quality research on the most pressing issues facing Israeli society, whether it's education, whether it's the labor market, whether it's healthcare. We take that research and share it extensively, both with the public and also and critically with the policymakers. And that means not just members of Knesset, but with the government ministries, and making sure that within the ministries, our research can have an impact.
We have outstanding experts in every field that we research. They look at what's going on around them and they decide what are the important issues facing the country.
When you're talking about the security of a country, you can't only focus on the weapons. You can't only focus on the threats. You need to understand also the strengths of society. By tapping into the Taub Center research data, we understood better both the assets that Israel has and the challenges that we have around us.
You have the people in play who are there to be able to uncover the chinks, to uncover where the problems are, and to know how to address them.
We like coming to the Taub Center. It's a place to think, it's a place to open the mind. It's a privilege, it's an honor to be part of what's going on there in that beautiful building.
The uniqueness of the Taub Center is mainly in the combination of researching a subject and bringing out policy ideas without taking it in a specific direction.
By being neutral, by remaining neutral, as being viewed as neutral, it means that all doors are open to you. It means that everybody is willing to listen to your results.
When we go through the Taub Center research, lots of the questions that are being asked are not questions that we would ask, our staff would ask in the regular way of doing business. And that actually pivots our minds, makes us think differently and act differently.
The Taub Center is not trying to be alarmist, not trying to get headlines, just providing very solid research.
Every single piece of research that we put together a dissemination package. And the dissemination package includes identifying the people who need to see that research, be it Knesset members or ministers or people within ministries. We then make sure that they get it into their hands.
I remember that one day Taub's annual report landed on my desk, and I was quite amazed not only by the high level of analysis and the wise insights, but also by the ability to clearly pinpoint the national challenges of this country and basically where we are heading, and most importantly, what we should do in order to tackle these challenges and get Israel back on the right track.
In the past 2 years, every conference I attend and discussion, they start the discussion by presenting the data and research of the Taub Center.
With the data, the research, and the numbers that I was provided by the Taub Center, I passed numerous legislation, healthy food in all the schools in Israel, lengthening maternity leave, and so many other legislations. The information didn't only help me when I went to the ministries, but also I explained it to the crowd and then they backed me up.
Taub opened the gate to people who also may not read all the research, but putting the information in pictures, having videos on the website. That's why think the Taub Center is invaluable in Israel.
The fact that the data is so accessible, and even people who don't have necessarily background in economy can be part of the discussion about their future and their children's future, which is amazing to me.
What is unique in Taub Center is the professionalism. When they do something, you can feel confident with them. Everything is organized, clear. It's really easy for me to identify with because I feel the sense of the truth of the results.
We clearly see that our research has a very, very large impact. You can see legislation passed because of the research and actually citing the research in the legislation. We can take a look at all the studies of early childhood that have become very, very important.
In Israel, they're starting to explore early childhood education before the age of 3. The Taub Center is at the forefront of providing data about this time period, of understanding the impact of that time period.
We have taken this research and really gone on a roadshow and shared it extensively.
The Taub Center's impact is really wide-ranging. We essentially become a resource for government. We become a resource for philanthropy. If you're trying to figure out where to direct your funds in the most impactful way, our research is really crucial in terms of getting that done.
Recently, we saw a lot of Taub reporting about the plight of the elderly in Israel, and we at Leket took that to heart, and so we increased the amount of fruits and vegetables we deliver. We started to deliver meals directly to the elderly. The economic writings of the Taub Center, whether it was about child poverty, whether it was about what's going on in the elderly populations in Israel, all of this impacts us.
Now, more than ever, the work of the Taub Center is critical. We're at a point in Israeli demography that's going to be challenging for the Israeli economy and for Israeli society in many ways.
Israel is at a crossroads, and decisions made in the coming years will dramatically affect its direction and future. At times like this, you want to be able to base your policy on facts, expertise, knowledge, data.
We're starting to look at issues of the environment and how that affects the socioeconomic situation inside of Israel. We are starting to look at issues of household debt. The Taub Center is at the forefront of policy research in those areas. We are able to uncover the problems and then to address them for all of Israeli citizens.
The Taub Center, as an independent research institute, does not take funds from the government, and we really rely on the support of our generous donors to allow us to remain independent.
We support the Taub Center because we're committed to Israel and to its health. And we want to see that the issues of the day that affect people at all segments of society continue to get better for everybody.
As I've gotten more and more involved with it over the years, I can see the impact that the work of the Taub Center is having, and it makes us very proud to be part of it.
It's supremely important that the Taub Center continues to have the resources to bring in more experts, to expand its area.
As long as there is an organization like the Taub Center that is focused on providing policymakers with the information that they need to make the right decisions for the long term, I believe that Israel will be able to continue to grow and thrive and blossom well into the future.
Together we've all done something really good, and we should celebrate, be proud after 40 years. To be continued for at least another 40 years or 400 years. We're charged, we're ready for the future for even greater things.
We want to continue making the country a better country. We want to continue to improve the welfare of citizens of Israel. We want them to live better. We want them to be happier. And these are the things that we strive to do in order to be able to improve Israeli society and the entire country.